You posted a job listing on Instagram.
I did.
Tell me about it. Why?
$100,000 starting salary.
Dude, what's up with that?
What is up with that, Jack?
Well, I've been pushing Graham
Yeah.
for probably, I don't know how many months now to outsource more things. For years, yeah. To now start outsourcing so he can start spending his time on the stuff that really makes an impact on the business. And I figured that script writing, although, Graham thinks, and I agree, it's one of the most crucial parts of the business, even if Graham can get someone that can write 80% of the script and Graham can just put in that 20% of Graham's spice on top, but it saves Graham a few hours during the day that he can allocate towards other things that he has a bigger ROI on, I said it was worth it. And finally, with enough convincing and chipping away, I got Graham to post a job listing at a $100,000 starting salary. So,
yeah, I'm not optimistic.
How'd you convince him to spend so much?
Well, I asked Graham, I don't know, should I say that? I asked Graham, how much would you pay to have someone that writes every single video for you for an entire year? What would you pay their annual income? And Graham said, a lot of money, a lot. So I said, well, let's start it at $100,000 to make sure people know that it's worth it.
Serious.
Yeah, that it's a serious inquiry.
Exactly, exactly. So I don't believe that role could be filled, but I'm really trying to go in with an open mind and just see.
Mm-hmm. So my argument was that the time that you spend scripting, the time that you spend doing all of these other things that you find very important, I said that those are big wastes of time. And I said one thing that you could be spending your time on that would be a great way to spend your time would be going through different scripts that people have written for you. Even if you spend 3 to 5 hours going through, 100 scripts that people have written, if you find 5 ones that are decent, that's a fantastic way to spend your time.
I think that's the problem, though. That's the key word, decent. I think that there are going to be a few that are decent, but I feel like they're not going to be enough for Graham. Working with Graham on a day-to-day basis, I know how, I don't want to say picky, but how particular you are.
Yeah.
And so I think it's getting Graham to understand that that's okay.
I agree. They're not going to be perfect by any means. And I don't think that's even possible for them to be perfect in Graham's eyes, because Graham's idea of perfection is just like one of the scripts that he's written. But if it's 80% and it saves Graham a little bit of time, and then Graham can train this person just over like maybe a couple of weeks to get this person really good, then I think that's a great way to spend your time.
The hard part that I see is that I've been doing this now for like over 5 years, 3 times a week. I have the experience of knowing the algorithm, knowing what works, and knowing the audience, and knowing which topics do well, that I don't know if that could easily be taught to somebody who isn't as who doesn't spend 5 hours a day in front of the computer reading personal finance. Like, to bring someone, I know how much work I put into this, and I don't think that unless they've been doing it full time already, that I think there's such a steep learning curve. I don't know if I have the patience for that learning curve.
I think you'll find a few that are good enough, and then you'll go on and interview these people, get an idea, and then try to train up these people, give them a few ideas and hints, and it'll be really, really challenging for you, but I think it will be well worth it when you find someone that can do, let's say, 80% of what you do. I think it'll be well worth it.
I would love to see somebody else do it first. Andre Jick would be a good example because we have a similar script, similar outlines, similar topics. I would like to see him.
Can we just buy him out?
Yeah, Andre could write, think about it. If Andre
Yeah.
can write scripts that would be sufficient for you
Yes.
to do on your own channel, aren't there plenty of other people that can do that too? You exist.
No,
Andre
but
exists.
Andre's been doing it full
For how
time
long?
For 3 years.
Not 5, right?
Not 5. No.
So there's someone out there. I'm a firm believer.
The only problem is I'm okay, and I understand that Graham does need to outsource some of that work, but I definitely don't want his videos to lose that touch, because we were talking about scripted versus scripted videos from a team versus scripted from the creator, and we can tell the difference in some of the cases.
And you look at the performance between the two. I'm not,
but I'm not saying it can't get better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't get better. I'm just saying it will take time, but I think that it is possible.
Yeah, I could tell who scripts their videos themselves and they put their heart and soul into something versus a team. I notice immediately.
I just don't think that outsourcing means that you have to sacrifice quality at all. I think outsourcing, you can actually get better scripts. I think you can find someone that can literally write better scripts than you. I'm certain
But
of it.
they don't have the passion. It's that passion that really...
Maybe not, but like I said, what if they get you to 80% of what you need? And then all of a sudden, instead of spending 8 hours per script, you're spending 2.5, 3 hours per script. That's 5 extra hours that you get.
I also
3 times a week.
I also think that there's going to be a kind of a disconnect between having somebody write the scripts and having somebody find video topics, because I feel like that's throwing a lot to somebody who maybe has never been in the space. Right. And I feel like if you do end up hiring somebody, there's going to be a lot of collaboration in the fact where at first they may not bring video topics that you find suitable, but maybe they only focus on writing. And you focus on, okay, let's talk about video topics together, and then you focus on that part. I think to have the trifecta of video topics, perfect writing, and the personality, I don't think anybody's going to emulate that exactly like you do. But getting somebody to be perfect at writing, and then eventually helping them find topics, and then you adding that spice. Nobody's going to add the spice like you do. So taking whatever it is. You go ahead.
No, I think Graham blushed when you said that. I just thought it was cute.
Well, you started snickering first. And
but you know what I mean. Taking 30 minutes, 40 minutes to add your personal touch at the end. I think you're always going to have to do that, even if you find somebody that can get you 90% there. You're always going
to make edits to the script. I'm certain.
I know. That's why I'm going in with an open mind. It's like, this is the one thing that takes up most of my time that I'm least likely to ever give up.
I just think
I'm open, but I'm open to it. I'll try it.
I think that's how you're going to scale. I really do. As long as you can continue outsourcing.
I don't know if I want to scale.
You don't want to?
I don't know if I do.
I'm very eager to
Jack
scale.
the other day, he told me, Graham needs to scale because if he doesn't outsource, I think he's doing it wrong. Yeah. And I said, well, how do you define it? Because if you don't want to scale, that's fine. Well, kind of. If you don't want to scale, that's fine. But okay, you want me to pull Alex from Well, how do you measure the, how do you measure success? Well, if it's in Graham's eyes money, then yeah, you probably have to outsource to make more money. If you're okay with saying, I will not hire an editor because I am passionate about researching and writing, and I'm okay with leaving a little bit of money on the table, Bailey.
Bailey
if you're okay
with Bailey agrees with
if you're okay with leaving a little bit of money on the table, then hey, you're right. But then you have to admit that you are doing it solely because you are passionate about it and you are okay with leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
So what is it?
I don't know if I want to scale, Jack. I really don't think so. I've gotten to a point now on the main channel, at least, that yes, it's time consuming, but it's manageable. I enjoy the work with you and Alex. I enjoy meeting up and reviewing the video for edits, and it's just like most of the time it's just Alex and I, and we'll throw some thumbnails your way. DGB will help out on the side. It's a small little team. The only thing I really wanted, my focus is just like continuing to grow the podcast. That's where I feel like the skill, because the main channel, it's kind of like that S curve. You know how you slow start and then meteoric rise.
That sounds familiar to what Jack was saying about certain scalability like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
I kind of feel like I've hit what I could do on the main channel. Like the only difference I think that I could do that I might try at some point is featuring more people like we did, Doug DeMuro.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
Pokimane, Kevin O'Leary.
So what if you got a person that does outreach and scheduling? It's like any problem that you may have, any roadblock in scaling, there's always a solution to it.
But I don't know. But I feel like, you can't do too many of those. And those are just like, those are the magical
You know
moments.
what? I will say, Jack, it is a little weird when I reach out to schedule with people. And like, it's funny because I'm reaching out on Graham's behalf. But then when they connect me with like their assistant, I'm just like, oh, this is weird.
I like it for the most part because I know that I'm going to get a quicker answer from their assistant than I would probably get from them. So I think that's great.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we had Matt Stoney on. Like, no, I'm not trying to throw Matt Stoney on the bus. He was great. He just had a really busy 2 months.
Sure, that was challenging, but the other people that we've also had in that same situation, it's actually been really good. So
it goes both ways. But I think I've kind of maximized what I could do on the main channel. I don't think scaling would necessarily lead to more money or more growth.
I honestly was talking mainly in free time. Because I also know that if you have more free time, that can spur creativity. It can also give you time to allocate towards things that maybe you have a higher ROI on, such as like a syndication.
Gosh, I mean, I have such a high ROI on the channel, and I'm working on the syndication with Ryan Pineda, and he's doing so much work on the back end. Like I couldn't spend any time on that because he's like a genius. He already has like everything laid out for that. And it's just like, Graham, what do you think of this deal? Here's why we think it's a good deal. Do you agree with us? What are your thoughts?
Well, he had the structure laid out for his group, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense for you to do all that work if you already have a partner that has the outline of basically everything.